and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Critters, where I live stream every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. For those that may be new, welcome. My name is Laura Joseph. I am owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We're an international educational center where we teach people all over the world how to empower animals and the people that care for them. Um, I apply and show people how to use applied behavior analysis, the science of behavior, with animals in modifying behavior, teaching new behaviors. And the importance of this is showing people how we don't have to force our animals to do anything. We can teach them to do what we want them to do, or need them to do by reinforcing behaviors we want to see maintain or increase. And a lot of these are husbandry behaviors, getting animals ready for the vet visit. We like to increase complexity and enrichment and show the power enrichment has with animals. You can always reach me at my personal email address, which is Laura. Good morning, everybody. Laura, Lara, at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com. And if you hear anything in the background, I am joined by my two dogs, Snow, my deaf and blind dog, sitting by my side, and Levi in the other room, my deaf bulldog. So, for those of you that follow the work that I do, know that I like to show people how to work, teach, and learn from animals without using force, using applied behavior analysis. And I focus on working with exotics because I have a lot of colleagues that focus on working with dogs. So this way I can show, hey, Snow, I can show how we teach an alligator to do something, how we teach a parrot to do something. What else do I work with? How you teach a giraffe to do something. And you don't want to use force because force has its consequences. And you may be able to use force with a turkey vulture once, but you're not going to be able to do that again. And that is the power behind the work that I do. So, a couple more things before we get started. I am trying a few new things today, so bear with me. Um, I have been live streaming Coffee with the Critters every Sunday morning for the past 8 years. And we have a large following, and I appreciate all the followers. And some of the work that we do, which you can find on our website at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com, is we have our levels of memberships where people subscribe annually to watch my live streaming with some of these animals that I have mentioned. Right now, we're live streaming our work with the wolves, our work with parrots, our work with the gators, and definitely not limited to. Um, you can find our memberships on our website and our other services there as well. We have, if you're following on our Facebook page, because I am currently live streaming in LinkedIn as well, you can find on our website our events page, or on our Facebook site our events page, where you will see upcoming events, where we have workshops or where I'm presenting. Our next workshop is our parrot enrichment workshop, which is coming up next month. And you'll see our other workshops coming up, which we're now scheduling into 2024. So our parrot enrichment workshop is going to be our last in-person uh, workshop this year. You can also sign up for our email newsletter list on our website or on our Facebook page. So, with that being said, I'm trying something new today, so bear with me. So, the topic of today's um, episode of Coffee with the Critters is on a roll with enrichment. And I wanted to let you know I didn't start off as an animal trainer and behavior consultant. I started off in the field of enrichment. This was several years ago. I'd say about 19 years ago is when I started dabbling in animal enrichment. I don't think I need to really get into the definition of animal enrichment because those that follow me know how important it is and what it is. Um, I wanted to say as well that I've always found enrichment as not an option with animals. It is a must. No matter what the animal we care for, whether it's dogs, parrots, smaller animals like guinea pigs in the zoo environment, such as giraffes, alligators, what have you, enrichment is a must. And this is the field I started off in. And I began with a parrot, Rico, who just turned 19 years old. No, he didn't just turn 19 years old. He's getting ready to be 20 actually. And I wanted to empower him and I wanted to see how engaged he was with the enrichment, and watching his engagement was um, the reinforcer behind why I continue to do what I do. I did get Rico at the age of 5 months old. He is now getting ready to turn 20. So I've had almost 20 years of increasing enrichment with him. My good friend Deb Jones, who is a professional dog trainer, has written and authored many books. And when she mentioned, good morning, everybody, she dedicated one of her, she didn't dedicate one, she mentioned the Animal Behavior Center in one of her last books, saying how I'd look for that book, but it's in a box because I'm packing because I plan on moving soon. Um, she mentioned in there and thanked the Animal Behavior Center for opening her eyes to how enriching training can be to an animal. We also know that enrichment increases welfare. When I first got started in animal enrichment, I was not only fascinated, but I was focused on the animal's engagement. And then I was like constantly watching. It was like, okay, he's interacting with this, he's manipulating this. There are intermittent schedules of reinforcement in enrichment. Enrichment can change behavior, modify behavior, reinforce behavior, extinguish other behaviors. So I use enrichment to do many things. Um, and I remember how I once attended a presentation, this was several years ago, probably about 7, 8 years ago, where I heard the presenter say, when you're using enrichment that involves all these knots, manipulation, unlocking this to get to this, they mentioned it was a bunch of nonsense. And I was floored when I heard this. And that was the reinforcer to why I got out, one of the reinforcers to why and how I got out into the field of lecturing publicly, nationally, and internationally on that is not true. We need to pay attention to the individual animal and make sure we are shaping complexity through enrichment. Um, it's not up to me what's enriching for the animal. It's up to me to observe, pay attention, watch what behaviors it's modifying. And if it includes knots, keys, unlocking this, pulling this out, that is enriching for the animal. So I thought this presenter was making a comment that was probably going to punish the audience's future behavior of creating complexities for this animal. There are numerous research articles that I have purchased years ago, and even now I'm constantly reading research articles and creating content to back up that science. Enrichment is up to the individual. It's important to pay attention to that. So the reason I picked today's topic of on a roll, ROLL, with enrichment is because you've heard me talk about numerous different aspects of enrichment. And so today I picked enrichment that rolls and how it increases complexity. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So here I'm going to try something new that I haven't done before, and it's going to cause me to pause. So please bear with me because I'm new to this feature. Um, if you want a behavior to change and you want a behavior to stop, you need to ask yourself, what do you want the animal to do instead? Um, and here's where I'm going to pause because I didn't get this in the area that I needed to. My apologies if you can just bear with me. I'm going to my desktop. I'm finding Coffee with the Critters. Here it is, pulling up a video. I do want to share my screen and I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. So on a roll with enrichment, we are rolling. Here we go. Here it goes. So enrichment that rolls creates complexity. I recently posted this video in an animal enrichment group, people asking for enrichment, and how I wanted to show when we create enrichment that rolls or moves, just the movement of the enrichment, the rolling creates complexities. Studies show that we need to increase complexities of enrichment to help prevent boredom. Um, and rolling creates those complexities, and we can have it roll vertically, horizontally. We can have it roll hanging from something. We use rolling a lot, and we use creating complexity um, through shaping complexities. You want to make sure that the enrichment doesn't advance too fast, too far for that individual animal. Notice how I didn't say for that species, for that individual animal, because if you're taking too big of steps in shaping complexities enrichment, just as we do with training, you can actually positively punish the very behavior you're trying to train. And when you positively punish the behavior of interacting with enrichment, you will see a couple of different things. And one of those main ones is the animal stops engaging. Um, so we can also create enrichment through um, to change behavior, such as preventing an animal from charging a door. When you're trying to get into an enclosure, if the animal constantly runs towards the door of the enclosure, it's because that is a trained behavior. It's probably a conditioned reinforcer, meaning it has been paired with you trying to enter the enclosure because you're delivering food. So I wanted to show another um, video recording. Sorry, I'm using something new today, which is my screen share. Um, so with a pair of Arctic foxes that always charged the door when we entered, um, what do you want the animal to do instead? So we can redirect that behavior and get the animal focused on something else. And this was a piece of enrichment that I provided to a pair of Arctic foxes, and it was canned tuna fish in this foraging ball. See how it's rolling? It's creating enrichment. It's not down on the ground where the animal can grab it with its paws. Um, and when the animal is licking, this ball is constantly rolling back and forth because we have it hanging on a chain. When we provided this enrichment, and be careful with the type of food you're putting in, make sure you observe, because I've noticed that some different foods can cause overstimulation and actually reinforce or cause a behavior you don't want to have happen. So what we did with this tuna fish was we noticed when we opened the can and put it in the ball, it started dripping through. So I was like, it's not going to drip through if you freeze it first and then you stick it in the ball. So enrichment can help. Instead of stop, you want to redirect. What behavior do you want the animal to do instead? It can help um, prevent, decline abnormal repetitive behaviors that lead to serious behavior issues, such as pacing. Pacing can be a sign of stress. Consistent screaming, whining, panting can be a sign of stress. Ask yourself, what do you want the animal to do instead? And people love watching animals being engaged, engaging with a trainer, um, as long as the animal is using positive reinforcement training. I've noticed that if I'm trying to get a message through to the public, to the people, to the observer, I can get that message. I can actually capture their attention through engaging with the animal through training or providing enrichment. Um, and that once I've got their attention, then I can help give the information that I'm trying to get through. So I'm moving on to the next video. Um, this was a video I took a couple of years ago. We can use rolling enrichment to help with husbandry behaviors. Let me see if I can get this up here. Is this shared? Let's see. I got to find it. Show in my stream. There you go. This is an African crested porcupine that I had the honors of working with at a very young age. So when she was this young, I started training her after observing her, and I was able to. She loved a certain type of biscuit. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a banana biscuit. And so we had these hard balls, wooden balls, that it was hard for a lot of other animals to engage with. So I was like, we're going to save these. What can we use these for? So we ended up drilling holes all over these balls and shoving her banana biscuits into them. We didn't want to make it too hard. She couldn't get to them. But when we shoved them into these wooden balls, I was like, this can be beneficial to her future. It can help keep her um, teeth ground down, so we don't have to do that. We don't have to grind them down for her. Um, Ready for a really cool video? This happened this past week. So the importance, okay, we focus on the individual. We can also provide enrichment when we're working with more than one animal at a time. And I want to show this video because this piece of enrichment was made by one of my employees, Lindsay Douglas, and I believe Rachel Graycheck this last week. And she's like, they forced me to stay out of the enrichment room, so I had to stay in the training room and continue working while um, they were ready. And then they're like, okay, come on in. So they made this piece of enrichment for Fred and Wilma, the black cast hornbills. Now, let me give you a little bit of information about Fred and Wilma. And don't focus on the fact that they're birds, because I know a lot of people don't care for birds, but some people do. But Fred and Wilma, when they first came to us 3 years ago, they were extremely fearful of people. And those of you that follow the work that we do know that we couldn't even enter the same room with them. And in this video, I am inside their closure and they are right up in front of me. But Fred is still a little more fearful than Wilma. He will show an open beak when he's stressed. I also know how to look for stress with him on how he turns his head. But the importance of me saying this is when I'm working with more than one animal at a time, I will picture the whole group of animals, flock of animals, pack of animals, whatever it is, as one. Um, So I'm in here with Fred and Wilma, and here's Wilma. And this is an amazing enrichment, piece of enrichment. So I'm standing there right in front of Wilma, observing how she's interacting with this enrichment. Not only is this piece of enrichment hanging, but when she interacts with it, it starts rolling. So it's wobbling back and forth, turning back and forward and backwards like this. She does, and unfortunately, I stopped this video right when she unscrewed the lid. But if you watch her, you can see she has a history of knowing how to unscrew lids. So inside these jars is crinkled paper, and in with that are her insects that both Fred and Wilma thrive on hunting for and retrieving these insects. And I just talked to Lindsay Douglas yesterday morning because I had an idea. Thursday night around 10 o'clock, I was like, boom, I know how we can increase the complexity of this, because I believe in this video or the next video, I show how she quickly pulls out. Here she is reaching for my fingers while I'm trying to record her, because she quickly pulls out that crinkle paper. I was like, I have an idea on how we can increase the enrichment here. And this video gives us the opportunity to observe her gorgeous color of her eyes, how she moves her eyes, and to be able to tell what she's looking at, which are all key components in enrichment. Are you guys able to see these videos well? Because I'm using a different way to share videos today. So please let me know. So she has also learned that not only can she unscrew the enrichment, she can also just pound on the lids and crack the lids open, which is great. And it teaches us more about their behavior. But she can get to those insects a lot faster and easier. Okay, so I want to show the next video, which shows her with her bonded, with her mate, her bonded pair. These are a bonded pair. This is Fred, and Fred is the one in the front with the cask on the top of his bill. He is the one is more fearful. Now I am inside the cage right next to him, where when we first started working with these two, we couldn't even be in the same room. I couldn't even be 30 feet from them without them flying into the cage bars. So I am being really careful being in the enclosure with him. I do see a little bit of stress, but I see him quickly start to look at the enrichment, which lets me know I am on the right path. And I don't need to be in the enclosure. We get these two out flying around daily. So here's Wilma. She's feeling all the different pieces and parts of the enrichment. She's learning from the enrichment. And here I'm watching Fred. He's wanting to engage with the enrichment right in front of me. But me being in his enclosure is a little too stressful for him. So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'm out. I'm sorry. I can observe this from a distance. Thanks, Debbie. Okay. So we can provide enrichment through numerous different ways when we're working with fearful animals. Number one, we can do that through training. That is how we were able to get this close to Fred. I apologize about Snow, but I live with her and I live stream at home with her. Fred has come so far, and anybody watching this that know Fred and Wilma, they both have come so far. Training can help take the stress out of an animal's environment. When I see an animal stressed, my stress gets really high because I want to empower that animal. I want that animal to thrive in my care, not just survive. Their mental state and physical well-being is top priority to me more than anything else in this world. Literally. So, okay, we're coming up on 5 more minutes. So where do we know where do we start increasing complexities? We start with observing and identifying what does the animal already know how to do. that is where we began. My apologies. So when we shape complexities, so we are training, we're teaching manipulation, and increasing manipulation, in harder objects that the animal has to learn from to retrieve objects. We're doing that through shaping. Let's see, I want to share another video. Um, and this is a video I did share in the Parrot Project a while back. This is Rico, my umbrella cockatoo, interacting with a piece of enrichment that was pretty mentally, um, sorry, I'm getting all these screens, that was pretty mentally intense. I need him to be able to retrieve the objects. Um, but Rico, I've had for almost 20 years. I've been providing enrichment to him for at least 18 of those years. Well, no, 19. And he has been one of my biggest teachers. And through interacting, observing him with his enrichment, it has taught me how to increase complexity of enrichments for giraffes, for alligators, for wolves. I don't even know what else I train. Um, it helps keep your animal used to change. And if you listen to me, you know that is key factor of importance in the work that I do, because when we keep our animals used to change, it helps prevent stress, because we live in a changing environment. But a lot of times when we care for animals, we want to keep things comfortable for them. And when we keep things, and I want to keep things comfortable for them too. But when we keep animals in stagnant environments, then behavior issues start to rise. So studies show that social enrichment is one of the most complex forms of enrichment we can provide, to animals in our care. That comes through training. That comes through being housed with other animals. Rico is the one that entered me into this field of enrichment. I started young with him, and because I did, he is constantly keeping me on my toes. I have to constantly shape complexities with him. I've learned that parrots and birds are extremely misunderstood, not only in the companion animal field, but in the field of education, rehabilitation, um, providing ambassadors, zoos. And this is why I'm offering the upcoming Parrot Enrichment Workshop, which is happening October 14th and 15th, a Saturday and Sunday next month. Here I am standing right next to Rico, and he has a history of, if it's too complex and he can't figure it out, and if I'm standing in close proximity, he will pick up the toy and bring it to me. And I'm not going to I'm not going to undo it for him. I'm going to show him what you need to touch, where touch. I will bridge and reinforce with it, and that's what he's doing right there. Here, you take it. But he did end up destroying this piece of enrichment. And I do want to share one last photo. I love how animals keep me on my toes. And it helps me provide complexity. And I forgot to upload the video. Oh, no, I didn't. Here it is. It helps me. It is the main reinforcer why I continue to do what I do. Rico is the one that entered me into this field of exotic animal behavior training, and enrichment through increasing complexity. I owe a lot of this to him. He is one of the most complicated animals I have ever cared for, and I interact with numerous species of animals. So, with that being said, I did want to mention you can go to our website and take a look at our upcoming workshop, in our parrot enrichment workshop, which you can find on the Animal Behavior Center's Facebook page. You can also find there, on our website, there you will also find our upcoming applied animal behavior workshops with me. You'll be training by my side. Those are over for the year of 2023, but we're already starting to plan for 2024. If you're interested in more of the work that we do, you can also book private workshops with me where I come to you, you come to me. You can also book a day with the trainer where you will fly to this part of the United States, Ohio, Michigan, right on the border, and you will train by my side. Whatever problem you are having with any animal in your care, whether it's companion, zoo, um, or working with ambassadors, I will teach you through an array of different species of animals how to fine tune your technique with timing, observing reinforcers, aversives, what have you. We also have our webinars, our memberships, and our podcasts. Our podcasts are extremely popular, which is why people join. Not why, but one of the main reasons why people join our memberships. If you're interested in just listening to the podcast, take a look at our level 1 membership. um, and with that, we also have our Parrot Project where we have a lot of people. It's 160 members strong, annual. And I know I have some people already signed up yesterday. I am getting to you as soon as I end this live stream. And with that, I want to tell you, not only do I want to say thank you, but next week we're having another episode, Sunday morning coffee with the critters. I believe I'm going to have it Sunday morning. I'm contemplating having it Saturday night, which cocktails with the critters, where I bring everybody on with me. So stay tuned for that. And the reason I'm having that is because I'm going to miss the following 2 coffee with the critters because I am taking off to Alaska, where I can view some of these amazing animals in their native habitats. That being said, all right, have a great weekend, everybody. I'm off to work with some lemurs, some lynx, and some alligators this afternoon. Take care.